Hi everyone. If you're watching this, you probably know a bit about safaris, about the capturing sunsets, the majestic big fires, and the utmost beauty of this bush. I probably pulled you in with the first few scenes of our beautiful environment here in Hoedspruit, South Africa, but I probably misled you a little bit too. If you want a documentary about how easy and peaceful the bush is, I suggest you switch to something else very quickly.
Hoedspruit is a small town close to the Kruger National Park and 3.5 hours away from the Mozambican border. Filled with around 1,000 people and surrounded by lush rivers and bush, everyone mostly works in the safari and tourism business. Hoedspruit provides an interactive stopover for people on their way to the Kruger National Park or other parts of Africa, with endangered species breeding and animal rehabilitation centres, lodges, a few shops and supermarkets, all immersed in beautiful game-rich country. I live on a farm, part of a 15,000-hectare conservancy, with hundreds of different species, including the Big Five, giraffe, impala, warthog, and everything else you saw in The Lion King, able to walk in and out as they please. The brilliance seen on nature shows is evident everywhere you look. Ever since I was a child, I have wanted to spend my life dedicated to conserving the African bush. The first time I ever drove was when I was 8 months old on my father's lap chasing after an elephant through the Kruger National Park. Little did I know I would be returning 21 years later. When I came to live in Hoedspruit in March of 2011, I, like many others, only thought about the splendour I had seen on TV. However, I learned very quickly that while all the beauty and magnificence of the bush surrounds me every day, back-breaking hard work and heartbreaking losses are needed to maintain nature's way. With the help of my partner Ken, who manages the reserve, let me give you a behind-the-scenes look at the South African bush. Follow us as we document a real, working South African game farm. Straight away, Ken and I drove to where the guards were, ready to wreak havoc on anyone we saw. Let me give you a bit of background information about this. In early July, Ken again got a phone call from one of the guards. They told him that they had found a blood spot, a small pool of blood on the farm. Ken met them, and after investigation, they found the farm's prized bull rhino. His horn had been maliciously hacked away, and his mutilated body was laying lifeless on the ground. We had just joined the hundreds of farmers who had fallen victim to this sudden uprising in rhino poaching. As a result, the entire conservancy had to dehorn all 40 of their rhino. That meant capturing each and every one that was old enough, giving them anesthetic and covering their eyes to calm them, then sawing their horns off with the chainsaw. Then came the admin work, the measuring, the weighing, and the microchipping. Dehorning rhino has been an ongoing debate for years. The biggest motivation for rhino owners to dehorn is the hope that by doing so, they will deter the poachers from their animals. It is also a lot less costly than microchipping.
In South Africa last year, 443 rhinos were killed for their horns. This year already, we are sitting on 37. As far as our own poaching incident, the investigation as to who is to blame still continues today. The devastation that followed was heartbreaking. Hoedspruit had become a hotspot for poachers because the Kruger National Park brought in the military to sort out their own poaching problems. As great as this was for them, it pushed all the poachers down towards us. So, after receiving a second phone call from the guards, we were as anxious as hell. The two guards who alerted Ken had worked on the farm for many years. Looking for signs of anyone entering and being on the farm is a big part of their duties, as it usually indicates suspicious behaviour. In this case, the guards were doing their daily patrol when they came across 2 sets of human footprints. This was a major concern for everyone, as Hoedspruit had recently had 2 high alert poaching weekends. This made finding out where the footprints came from and who they belonged to extremely important. Although the culprits are still yet to be found, having these footprints on the farm means that someone, somewhere out there, has put a tag on the rhino that along with us called this place home. Rhino horn sells for more than gold. It is believed in many Eastern countries to cure many diseases and is even used as an aphrodisiac. However, rhino horns are made from exactly the same things as our nails and as our hair. Keratin, nothing more and nothing less.
In the end, after more than 4 hours tracking, the guards found a shoe print that gave it all away and cut away all of our remaining hope to find the potential poachers. The intruders had begun to employ anti-tracking techniques by walking backwards to obscure our idea of where they went. The guards realized this, and unfortunately, we had lost the track.
If our human greed doesn't stop, it is our generation that will be blamed for the loss of one of the most magnificent species of all time. Every person that fights against the rhino horn trade industry is a step in the winning direction. When you come to Africa years later for your great safari, you will be witnessing a massive sadness. The plains will no longer be filled with peaceful silhouettes of rhinos. They will be long gone. Your children will miss out on one of the world's most fascinating creatures. Don't sit there regretting that you didn't do anything. Sit there restfully assured that you did something to help bring this species back from human-endorsed extinction.
You can help to stop this right now.